I don't usually do energy drinks, but I really just need to put this in my veins today. Hello everyone, welcome to the Dark Project, which is all about writing, art, and rediscovering my creative spark as a working single mom who is so exhausted I just want to curl up in a ball and go to sleep. But I can't. I gotta work in a couple hours, and I got a bunch of crap I want to get done before then, including getting this video and the one before it at least put on my computer so that I can edit them when I get home, because it's been more than 7 days since I posted a video on this channel, and I hate that I'm still around the 2-week-ish mark for new uploads. This is mostly going to be me just chatting about where everything is at and some physical crafting things, because I have been crocheting as the weather has cooled off, and I have been sewing. As I mentioned in the last video, I believe, where I talked about getting a serger, I have a patchwork skirt that is about 95% done. All I need to do is make a ruffle to put on the bottom, and I've been debating on which fabric I'm going to use for that. I think I've got enough different black scraps still that I could make a long enough ruffle, but I'm going to have to make it like 100-ish inches around to make it as floofy as I want it to be, which is possible. It's just I have to have the ambition to do it. And I couldn't really be sewing much when the kids were here because my sewing space is the space where the computer is for Hunter to use for homework and games and all that stuff. Didn't want to encroach on his space and have to pack everything back up every single night when I wanted to do something, because that's just annoying. Oh my god. This is what happens when you're too tired when you're crocheting. I just did half of that last row wrong, so we're gonna friggity frog this nonsense back to the corner. Wondered why it seemed like it wasn't working out like it should be. This is what happens. But anyway, so right now I am working on a quasi autumnal-ish top that I'm going to be able to wear over like a t-shirt or a tank top. I realized that I don't have any plain black tank tops that don't say anything on them, so I went and bought one today. I will probably also buy just a plain black t-shirt or two, because with capitalism being in the state that it is in right now, I am very much fully ready to embrace being the artsy, strange, creative auntie type, despite the fact that I am a mom and will probably honestly never see my nieces again at any point in my life, because they're his family, not my family. But I'm tired of going into the store and everything being same, and everything being bland and blah, and looking at like even just jeans and going, this isn't really the cut I want. It doesn't really fit the way I want it to. And I shouldn't have to alter my body to fit in regular clothes off the rack. But the fit on these is kind of sort of okay-ish, so even though it's not really what I want, I'll take it because it's all I have access to. I have the capability to sew and craft and knit and crochet and upcycle things and all of so many things that I can be doing, and I'm going to start embracing doing, in the interest of only using things in my stash, with a few exceptions, to save money and curate the look that I want to achieve. I watched a video yesterday, I think, and it was called something along the lines of getting weird might be the best survival tactic to survive late stage capitalism. And I was like, I think she's on to something. Can't remember the name of her channel because it was something new to me, but I will go look in my history and post it here and post the link down below. It's short, but I feel like what she has to say is very worthwhile, and I am definitely on board with it. I am going to work on curating my wardrobe to, like I said, be weird. It's okay to be weird. It's okay to be what the kids call cringe. I feel like the fear of being perceived and potentially perceived in a less than positive manner is a big part of what's wrong with society right now. And I don't want to be part of that. I want to do the quirky things and wear the weird stuff as long as it's, work attire appropriate and I'm not like hanging out places I shouldn't be hanging out. Not that I ever wear anything like that anyway. I think the closest to that I've ever worn was when I wore short plaid skirts and fishnets when I worked at Hot Topic. But that was, I worked at Hot Topic. That was the thing. Anyway. So I am trying to go through what I have and see what I can make with what I have. And as I mentioned in the video where I was threading my serger and just kind of ran at the mouth for a million years. Although I have to say it's kind of funny because that video actually had the highest views out of anything that I've done recently, which is so ridiculous, but so funny. But I used to, and probably at some point in the future will make more of, just in the interest of using up more of my fabric that I have, used to make and sell project bags. Little drawstring bags and occasionally tote bags in my Etsy shop for knitters, crocheters, people to use as reusable gift bags. So this is the start of this. But in line with sewing, I had a whole bunch of scraps from when I used to make bags, and I made unreasonable amounts of bags. I think the highest grossing month I had, I made like $1,000 from bags. And generally sell my bags somewhere between like $20 and $30 a piece. So do the math on that. It was a lot of friggin' sewing. And it was when I was still married and had like a toddler and a not much older than toddler. So yeah. So sewing things. I took all of my, well, not all of, but a vast quantity of coordinating Halloween and spooky themed fabric. And actually, my little project bag I'm using right now is this right here. And this is made with some of the leftover strips. I really wish I had more of this poison fabric. Oh my god, I love it so much. Poison and apothecary fabric. But this little box bottom tote bag has like polypro webbing. This is my project bag just to keep the yarn clean and keep it off the floor, keep the cat from messing with it because Una is apparently a biggity big yarn chaser in a bad kind of way. There have been several times that I have had to panic yell at her, "Oh my god, no, stop!" because she grabbed the thing and just like ran across the room. It was like, "No, come back, you're gonna tangle my stuff, stop." Sewing. I took a large quantity of my Halloween and spooky season fabric and have made a patchwork skirt. I need to finish up the bottom. I'm going to move this back, maybe far enough so I can stand up and show you the whole thing in frame. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to drag it, but Just got an elastic waistband. I made it so that it can sit at my hips, or I can wear it a little bit higher. And this is what it's looking like. That's one side. And it is not the same on both sides. It is genuinely, this is made out of scrap. But the inside is all serged. So all the edges are nicely finished. I just sewed it together with a serger and then used my regular sewing machine to put the waistband on because I did not want to deal with all those icky sticking out seams on the inside. So as you can see, that bottom edge is still, it's not raw because I did serge the bottom edge, but God, I really love that taro fabric. And this one's got planchettes on it. I love it. But so this is a memory skirt almost of sorts from that year, apparently, according to my Facebook memories, 7 years ago when I initially made all of those Halloween bags. And I was like, holy shit, has it been that long? Okay, whatever. Makes sense to me. But I have more scraps still of that. And I have a whole bunch of yardage of similar themed fabric that hasn't been cut into yet. Like I've got one that's got vampire fangs on it, but they glow in the dark. And I don't know what I want to make with that, but I want to make something for me to wear with that. So, and also with this, even though, like, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, probably not. But there are some parts of this that are a little bit more see-through than I would like. So I am going to make an underskirt for it, which I actually, one of the few exceptions to the stash thing, bought a thing for today. A couple things, actually. So, firstly, 2 things. Because I'm not sure what I'm going to do on the bottom, but I found lace. This is black lace. I don't know. There, yeah, I guess you can see. So black lace, but this is in a 54 by 58 inch, 1.5 yard cut of it. This was like $5, I think, at Walmart because we don't have Joann's anymore and I don't want to go to Michael's to look for shit right now. Trying not to buy things in general, honestly. Okay, so this lace was $8.22. This is more than enough if I wanted to just do a slight ruffle along the bottom just to cover up that edge. And this is going to go into a lot of other projects too. So there's that. And this is my mistake that I made today because now that I have touched it, it has done what it do. So I saw, because I am the worst goth ever and I am drawn to things that are glow in the dark and glitter. Especially if it's black glitter. Problem is, glitter is still glitter. And this is black glitter tulle because I want to make an underskirt and I want to make like a poofy petticoat. Well, these 3 yard cuts were less than $4 a piece. So the problem is I have touched it and I am now covered in black glitter and it is everywhere. Oh my God, it is everywhere because glitter is the herpes of the craft world. So I got these, and this is some of the exception things that I was talking about because I don't have anything like this in my normal stock because it's not something I would normally use. So getting something like this to finish a project is okay, but for the most part, we're not going to be buying shit. Because to go to a legitimate fabric store, I have to drive like half an hour now. And I don't want to do that unless I have no choice. Or buy things online, which I also don't really want to do because shipping costs are going through the roof. And unless it's through Amazon, which I pay way too much to have Prime every year, you have to pay extra for shipping. I don't wanna. The cost of everything is going up, but money is actually worth less than it was. So that stuff to finish the skirt and make an underskirt, because then if I make a good petticoat, I can use that with any other skirts I do make. And that skirt hits me about mid shin, just under the knees too, depending on where I wear it. If I pulled it up farther, it'd be closer to knee length, but I don't really like the right under your boobs height for skirts. Not my thing. So the crochet top that I am working on is just, I've seen a lot of different ones on Pinterest and I didn't feel like paying for a pattern. So I'm going to muddle through it and figure it out on my own. I am using Lion Brand cupcake yarn for this. I'm not sure how much is going to get used right now. I don't think I can get my entire fourth square from what's left of the one ball. But this is what this one looks like in general. And this is the Sunny Day colorway. I had 4 of these. I made a partial Hangetsu shawl once with it. And I cannot help thinking that I call this pizza yarn because, you know, crust and cheese and sauce because it's red and orange and yellow and white and brown. Yeah. So I feel like I might use part of the center of this for the last square, but I'll show you the 3 I've got done so far. So this is the first square, and they're going to kind of go together edge to edge to go around me. And that's why I wanted to have the undershirt to wear with it, because, yeah, no, I'm not just going to wear a bra under this. I don't care. Not even if it was summertime. So this is the first square. This one was the second square, which goes from orange through yellow out to the white. And then it goes mostly the white, which I don't know if you can see, but there are some colored speckles in there that are also orange and yellow and red. And it goes out to the kind of crust colored brown. Those are the 3 that are done. I actually finished the third one yesterday. Well, finished the second and third one yesterday. Did the second and third one in their entirety yesterday and finished up the first one in the morning. And now I'm working on the fourth one, because all that is left of this is this itty bitty little floppy brown and red. So I don't think this is going to be enough to finish the square. And then I've still got to do the edging on it anyway, which I have to figure out which color I want to do that with. We'll see. But I've had this yarn for forever. Forever. This is DK weight yarn, and I'm using a 6mm USJ hook. I like the Susan Bates inline hooks. I know that's not for everybody, but I can't with the rounded thing. It just, the way I crochet, it just slips right off if it doesn't have the better throat. And yes, that part is actually called the throat on a hook, not just being weird. But yeah, this bag is also made of the leftover things. I really liked the kind of bug entomology fabric too. Oh, really wish I had more of this. And since I'm pretty sure that was something that was actually like a Joanne brand fabric, it's probably never going to be something I can get my hands on again unless I want to pay an arm and a leg for it on Etsy or eBay, which I do not want to do. And hi, Una. Hillian wants to go as Cool Kid from some Roblox game called Forsaken for Halloween. So, because I have a vinyl cutter The character wears a red top, and it just says join Team Cool Kid today. And honestly, looking at the font, being a font connoisseur like I am, I'm pretty sure it's just Comic Sans. I'm going to have to look at it close before I do it, but all I'll have to do is cut out the text and put it on here, and then he'll have this that he can use not only for Halloween, but for whenever, honestly. And he mentioned maybe wanting horns on it, which I have put cat ears on a hood before. So I feel like I could probably figure out a way to attach horns to the hood and just make them with like felt or fleece. I do have an unreasonable quantity of both still. But yeah. Because he was like, oh, well, I saw somebody makes them on Etsy. And I was like, yeah, but that's like $60 because somebody else made it on Etsy. Like, I can just go buy you a red hoodie and do it. I've got vinyl for years. Like, it won't be that hard to do. I can do it. I promise. And Hunter mentioned that he might want to be another character for the game, but I don't know much about that one. So I'll have to look it up and see what I can do. It would be nice if I can make them something that they can use as just like regular outerwear otherwise, so it doesn't just have that one-time usage nonsense with it, you know? So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I really need to get writing more this month. And I just got an email this morning from somebody being like, oh, you should totally pay for my dictation boot camp, to the tune of like $37 for 3 days of content that you'll only have access to for another 30 days after the class. I was like, no, because I already have my dictation software. I have already done some dictation. I really just need to get over the factor of feeling a little bit weird about it here and there and just do the damn thing. Because even if I could just be talking 500 to 1,000 words every day, you know, it doesn't need to be sit down and do 10K words in a day. And if you don't do that much, then you're not dictating correctly and blah, 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 blah. Like, no, nobody gives a shit. Stop. Just stop. It's okay. Just stop. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Okay, we're not going to sing. But on that note, I have so many, like all of the hats and stuff that I made last year that are done. I need to just post them in my Etsy shop for like 10, $15 a piece just to get them gone. I know I'm not going to make like massive handmade item money from them, but I really wasn't expecting to be perfectly honest, because they are quite simple. But it would be nice to have a couple bucks back just to get rid of them, you know. I have been reading a lot. I have completely finished a second Laird Barron anthology. I finished reading Occultation. I am currently reading Swift to Chase. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It seems like, I don't know if the whole book, this is another collection, and it's separated into sections with other shorts within them. And so far, the first 3 shorts are related to one particular protagonist, Jessica Mace, and like her story and where things are going. So I don't know if the whole book is going to be about her, or if it's going to be like her and the supporting cast around her, or if just that first section is going to be about her. But I'm interested and I'm digging it. And even though you can still totally tell that it is absolutely written by a man, having the slightly more feminine viewpoint has me enjoying it more because I find it more relatable. Do still love his other stuff. And some of the stories in Occultation were very good. Some of them were very weird. His formatting in a few of them was really strange to me. Like, instead of having quotes around dialogue. He just started off with like a hyphen for when a different speaker was speaking, and then just have the thing and then have the dialogue tag or whatever else was happening right after it all in the same chunk. And I was like, don't know how I feel about that. It didn't totally throw me off, and you could still tell who was speaking. So I suppose it was still effective, but it was very weird formatting wise. Kind of like being in America, if you read something written by somebody in the UK, their dialogue tends to only have the single quote thingy instead of the double quote like we do. But you can still tell who's talking. As long as you can still parse the different speakers from each other, I don't really think it matters. But it also feels like that scary, slippery slope of, oh, well, we don't need to use this, that, or this punctuation because that's just an old rule. And, it's more of a guideline than a rule, really. It's like, I don't know how I feel about that. Some rules are meant to be bent, some are meant to be broken, and some of them you just shouldn't fuck with. Like at all. Been reading, been doing my Duolingo still. I have been looking for other language learning things because I feel like Duolingo is more gamey and less actual learning to speak, which is fine if you just want to kind of dabble and you're not looking to obtain proficiency in a language. But I have also found, in the interest of me trying to find things that don't cost a ton of money, I tried Pimsleur language, which I really liked, and that costs just as much as Duolingo, but that's more actual speaking and conversations, not just, oh, we're going to play this matching game because you have to get your daily streak in. So you're going to do this thing that's going to teach you some vocab, but it's not going to teach you sentence structure or fuck all else. Pimsleur was good, but that also costs money. But through my local library anyway, you'd have to check and see if yours has it available. Most libraries that have digital access to things have other things aside from just books and audiobooks. They also have like the online, God, what is it called? I cannot remember the name of it, but all of the car manuals where you can go, oh, I have a this year, this make and model car. You go get the book for your car. So it has all of the things. So you know how to fix parts of it yourself and what's wrong with it if you can't fix it yourself. So when you go to the garage, you don't get rolled, especially if you're a woman. Because if you're a woman and you've gone to a garage by yourself, you know how awful it can be. Not always, but I don't like it because my initial bristling response is I do not need blinker fluid. Do you want me to go get you a left-handed screwdriver while I'm at it? No, these are not the things wrong with my car. I have a code reader. This is the specific thing that I need looked at and fixed. I don't need whatever other weird flushing service you think my vehicle needs. No, it in fact does not. Nice try on that upsell, but pass. But on top of the car manuals, they do have language apps and things where you can watch documentaries specifically, and you can watch like a certain number of movies in a month, which is really cool. So if you have a library where you can access things digitally, definitely go to their website and see what other stuff they have, because my library here in Pierce County in Washington also has Mango Languages, which is free. And I would say that it's pretty close level wise to the same type of things from Pimsleur, which I did a free trial of. I have Duolingo until April, I think. It's paid up, like I paid for a full year, but it's not going to renew then. Which is going to be sad because then my streak will be gone. Right now, my streak is like 1,040 almost days, I think, that I've logged in every day and done something related to Japanese, Korean, or Irish Gaelic. And all of those languages are also available in the Mango Languages app. So I'm not sure how good it is in terms of teaching actual proficiency, but I've been doing both kind of side by side. So I feel like it's helping elevate my understanding. Something you might want to look into if you want to learn a language and don't have the money to spend on premium, this, that, whatever, whatever. Food for thought. Free resources, especially if it's helping boost engagement with your local library, are where it's at. I've got a couple more hours before I have to go to work, so I am gonna get these loaded on the computer, get some food in my belly, work on that last square so I can try and finish up this top sometime this week. One more thing that I wanted to plug is if you are interested in just listening to classic horror and sci-fi that is in the public domain, and a few of my own original horror pieces, I do have my itty bitty narration channel, which is functional now and gaining a little bit of traction. It's called Dark Tales Foundry. It would be really cool to try and get up to like 100 subscribers by the end of the year would be sweet. Right now it's at 7, but watch hour wise, it's been doing pretty okay. So that tells me that people are liking listening to it, even if they're not subscribing. And honestly, watch time is where the money comes from once you're monetized anyhow, not subscriber count. So try not to beat yourself up and get too caught up in the subscriber count once you get to that 1,000 and you've got your 4,000 hours of initial watch time to get the monies from the ads. Anything beyond that is just watch time is more important than subscriber count. That's really all there is to it. I don't care what anybody says. I have 2 channels that are almost at 10K subscribers right now, and from the few little tweaks that I made from adding back in all of my knitting machine videos and all of my crochet tutorials here on this channel, it's gone from $2 a month to it is now at $12 a month. So if I can get both of my channels back up to like $40, $50 a month, so I actually get paid every month, that would be cool. And if it's close, then that means I'll get like 180-ish every 2 months, which is still better than nothing. It's nice to see a little bit of return on your investment of spending all this time making videos and whatnot. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the chitty chat and my whining and complaining about life and stuff, because life and stuff just happens. And it happens to all of us. Let me know down in the comments if there's anything crafty that you are working on, if you're feeling the fall vibes and you're getting prepped for all the Halloweeny stuff, if that's your deal, let me know, because I am very much a spooky season all year kind of girl. And I would love to hear and see what you're working on. If you're writing anything, how's it going? Let me know so that we can pump each other up in the comments, because I've gotten very disillusioned with a lot of things in the last few months. Primarily just from being too damn tired because I'm working too much. So if you are also exhausted and you are drinking way too much caffeine so that you don't crash your car while you're driving on your way to work because you still have to go to work even though you're tired, also let me know. I sympathize and empathize, and I see you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Take care of yourselves and each other. And remember that we are all just works in progress, regardless of what arena of work that may be. So until next time, take care of yourselves, Darklings.